we've got the agenda for the night. I think everyone's had a chance to look at that. It's brief, and I don't think we'll be a full couple of hours that we often are. But we'll dig right into this. Approved minutes from last month. Anybody have any additions, corrections, refinements?
You also have minutes from January.
Oh, I do. Isn't that something? But we'll start.
We're getting to business.
We'll start with June. I think they came out great. My only correction was with regard to the mention of Long Lake's algae, and they were suspended. It was suspended algae. It wasn't a powder. It wasn't on the surface. It was kind of throughout the entire water column. But just a clarification.
Did that get tested?
It was not tested. I actually ran the whole thing past Nick Lawler and Solitude, and they were going to pursue it later in the year if it was blue-green algae. I'm sure it's not blue-green algae. That's nothing like that. It's just algae is a naturally occurring food source. It's just part of the chain of things, and there's an abundance early on, especially with the rain seems to sort of agitate all that, and nobody wanted to alter that or do anything at this point in time. So we're just living with it. That was the extent of it, and like I said, if it was blue-green algae, they were ready to treat it, and I said it's not anywhere near that.
Yeah, I have not seen that concentration like she sent pictures of, and I'm around that lake all the time.
It's just a localized kind of thing, but I know that well, there's a lot of suspended solids in the lake. I mean, you can see just looking at the water whenever the sunlight hits it. It's chock full of goodies. Not drinkable, but not, I don't think not dangerous either. They test all the time at the beach. So, that was that. So we're running through. Anything else on the minutes? Vote to, or a motion to, accept?
Motion to accept the minutes the way they are.
Second.
And let me run down, wow, we have a whole list of people. Lisa?
Aye.
Are we in favor of last month's minutes as written?
Yes.
Okay, and Ed? Thumbs up?
They look good.
That's great. Leon is on?
Aye.
Very good. Who am I forgetting?
Right? Oh, he's not there,
I think that's it. We're all.
Aye.
So,
Hi.
thank you all.
Minutes approved.
Okay. So that's great. January minutes. A book and a half, some supplements.
They look good.
That's good. Let's put it in the history books and get that going. I will have February's next month, and then we will be up to date.
Did we already approve February?
No, they haven't been written. They were refined. They've been sort of mulled over, but they haven't been put in written form. So,
I move we approve January 23rd minutes.
okay.
Second it?
Aye.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you all. Thank you all. It's great. Moving right along. Looking at our activities and our calendar since last meeting. First thing we want to discuss are herbicide treatments. The herbicide treatments, we were a little taken aback this year. We were thinking initially, in the spring, that Spectacle Pond was not going to be included. And as such, we were thinking that we may not even need to go out to bid on having herbicide treatments for this year. This being sort of an anomaly anyway, since we were going to be doing eco harvesting and we're processing our minor dredging permit and all of this is in the works. We thought this could be an easy go. I got Nick Lawler and Matt Silverman working on this, and they put together a proposal about the same time that they decided that they could indeed use herbicide treatments at Spectacle Pond, for like 1 year. Which pushed us into a bid situation which delayed the opening of, or the awarding of this contract to Solitude, the only, bidder, as it turns out, but, delayed the contract being, assigned until, June 30th.
No, the contract was not signed on June.
Well, it was,
The
the bids were open.
were opened on
You're
the
right,
30th.
you're right, yeah, so we're already into July.
Do we have a contract?
And the bid, proposal from Solitude suggested or recommended treatment next spring,
Yeah,
spring of '06,
Right.
for each pond.
right.
Just waiting, skipping a
And
date.
so really missed the window and,
So, they're not gonna do a contract,
not pursuing it this year.
so no contract.
No work will be done, in 2025.
On any lake.
No herbicide treatments on any lake
Not even in
through the
June
water
next year?
commissioners, through.
So,
I mean, June 26th, sorry.
the proposal that they gave in their bid, that, bid would still be valid next spring?
I'm not 100% sure on that, but they had numbers that they anticipated. It was, based on earlier, evidence. I think it was a year old.
It was.
So
There's no contract award?
no contract awarded at this
Okay.
point. So, yeah. And it opens the door, for next year, especially early spring, at Spec Pond, like Leon was hoping for. So, we are in the second year of not having any substantial, herbicide or any kind of, invasive management, at Long Lake. And we do have evidence of invasives this year, but nowhere near the kind of, level that Spec Pond and Forge Pond are experiencing or have experienced in the past few years. So I'm thinking if our, dredging permit goes through and we're back to, eco harvesting, we won't even pursue herbicide treatments, at Long Lake. Because we'll just go right back into eco harvesting. To flesh this out just a little bit more for the committee, Dave Barr and I went to, the June, Community Preservation, Committee, meeting, and to, request, use of the funds that we have allocated, for, invasive management. And, Dave made it a point to say that, his application for Forge Pond included sort of a fallback, for, herbicide treatments if they became necessary. If for some reason, even at the time we made this application, we did not anticipate, a delay, on the permit for minor dredging that is now required. But even at that, there was a clause in the application that included herbicides. I was asking on behalf of, the situation at Long Lake, if we could use the leftover monies, that are remaining from, the, removal of the floating islands. Thinking that prevention of floating islands in the future, would be, legitimate, and it was voted down. They would not allow us, they certainly would allow us to remove additional floating islands, but not, herbicide treatments, in anticipation of this kind of creation again, so.
So
give it a shot.
CPC funds won't be allowed to be used for
CPC
herbicides,
funds
is that what we're
for
hearing?
Long Lake are exclusively for eco harvesting,
Okay.
yeah, not herbicide treatments. And, the exception was not written in as sort of a fail-safe, like it was, at Forge Pond. So, if you read the application, it's quite specific. What I was asking for,
I
was
see.
monies that had been for the removal of floating islands.
Okay, because of the way the original grant was written or whatever.
Too specific.
Okay.
And,
But next summer with the Long Lake revolving fund or whatever that is, those funds could be used for.
oh, actually, the next summer, if we in fact have the minor dredging permit in
Yeah.
place and the Department of Environmental Protection has signed off on everything, we have those permits, we have, what, $27,000 this
Yeah.
year, maybe $22,000 at this point, for eco harvesting along Lake, so finances are not an issue there. Herbicide treatments would be another problem. If for some reason we don't have the permitting that we anticipate having at this point, we would be scratching, so. This would give us an opportunity this year to make an application for, additional funds, that perhaps are more generic, doesn't go over too well with the CPC because usually they're looking for something, that is, more specific than that, so, we're gonna see. Last month, Dave and I were invited to the CPC meeting.
This month.
I'm sorry, this month, it was just a week ago. They didn't have a quorum, so they were gonna discuss funding, they were gonna discuss the CLC requests specifically. So we'll do that next month, to see what's going on there.
Can I talk a little bit more
Sure,
about Lake
sure.
Manawanagi?
Yeah.
We had $18,000 of fiscal year 25 funding from the water department that was available to use for herbicide treatments. We weren't able to use it because the bidding didn't close until the end of the month. Like you said, the CPC considered our request to use some of the eco harvesting funding for a herbicide treatment this year as a precursor to eco harvesting next year, to be able to see how that was what we wanted to do with the eco harvesting funding for the water department. Do herbicides this year, get some relief, see how that affects the eco harvesting next year. Do sort of 3 different kinds of treatments around the lake. One kind of using contact herbicide in a lot of places, systemic herbicide, Prosolacor in other places, no treatment in other places, and see how those different things affect the eco harvesting next year. And the CPC agreed that we could do that. They wanted town council to review their decision, and he agreed that it was appropriate. We asked if we could use that with the bidding that was done for the treatments this year. And it was decided that because the treatment we were going to do was much smaller than what Solitude had quoted, it was appropriate to have no treatment for Lake Manawanaki, but not appropriate to have a smaller treatment for Lake Manawanaki. That funding, that money which was available, was not able to be used for that. At that point, Friends of Forge Pond decided that they would have a small treatment for both sides of the lake. Again, doing some different kinds of treatments in different places to see what that did. But in order to do that, we had to go back to Westford Conservation Commission to get approval for the actual treatment, because that was part of the orders of condition. And as soon as we got that done, we went back to Solitude and asked to, start the process. I mean, we're talking to them for a while about to be prepared for it. It turned out that although we were told it could be done sooner, like now, it's going to be into August now before they could do it.
From a scheduling standpoint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we, Chuck and I talked, the Friends for Bond Board discussed it, and we decided that it wasn't, effective to do it at that point. So we're not gonna do it this year.
So because it's waiting so late, it's not effective to just do it in August. We should just save the money, do it in the spring.
Yeah, it was gonna be a month, it was gonna be 4 weeks after we, finally got the approval from the Western Conservation Commission, which was gonna be, a week into August. And, the weeds are already going down at that point anyway.
Sure, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was,
The season's, growing season certainly is coming to a close at that.
so it depends on the milfoil is falling down, it's dying. The fanwort is in, full bloom, it's blooming, they're vibrant, they're green. But that's a smaller part of, that's like the third most, prolific.
Is your infestation as bad as it was last year?
I think it's a little bit, less than it was last year. I think the drawdown, last winter was marginally better than it had been, but, it's marginally, right?
Yeah.
But it was a colder winter, but.
Feel as though this was just a total blowout, effort, frustrating at every turn in terms of trying to get things going, going to bid, we didn't anticipate,
Right.
We were hoping to have other things in place. Of course, going back to last fall, we were thinking we'd have a dredging permit by now, so.
Right.
It's really been, very disappointing, and, I suppose, I don't know, it points up the difficulties we're having in terms of timing. Aligning things so that we have sufficient funds in place, we have approvals in place. The delays are just insane. We go for a permit, you went for a permit, somebody's on vacation. So everything's just grinds to a halt.
Yeah, we
You can't get signed
we
off.
lost 2 meetings because.
2 meetings, there wasn't a quorum. There was, this is really, it's a very difficult way to coordinate all of this. And then with our funding sources from multiple, areas, this is getting more and more complicated by the month.
And the forum was the 2 CPC meetings, is that what you're referring to?
2 Conservation Commission meetings were canceled because they didn't have a quorum.
To
So it was-
permit.
To approve permitting?
It was
Okay.
7 weeks after we got the approval to go ahead and request, the amendment before, a full hearing took place.
Yeah,
I must say CPC has been great. Carolyn's on top of everything and giving us a heads up when there's a meeting that we may want to be a part of or something, and it's,
Right.
very, very, very positive, there, and it's nice. It's, a delight because this just isn't flowing the way it should.
So my understanding, from the meeting last week, that they invited us to for CPC was that they were going to discuss, the overall question of, supporting lake activities, fighting eutrophication, and how does that fit in with the CPA?
Yes, yeah, that's my understanding too. I think it should be sort of a global thing. We've made the point in the past, trying to move away from specific applications, whether it be for herbicide treatments or floating islands or what have you, that, the lake itself is the project. The ponds are the project. They need attention. They need periodic care. They need long-term care. They need,
It's a,
engineering. They need a prescription for for going forward. They need, they need a
these
plan.
activities are for preservation of the lakes. It's not just,
Yeah.
mowing the lawn.
This is not
Lakes are
routine.
gonna fill,
maintenance.
Mill Pond is a prime example of what happens when you don't,
Yes,
deal with it.
So,
I
anyway,
mean, I just wanna say something. I just wanna point out some. I was getting really happy about herbicides, because we haven't had herbicides there since I was a kid. Now, Leon had herbicides for years, and you guys up there in Long Lake.
Mhm.
And it was pretty successful. You know, now, herbicides were a lot cheaper, are they a lot cheaper than the,
they are.
now think about it.
Depends on what kind of herbicide you're talking
All
about.
right, so
You can always spend more.
I chat with, the Westford team there, Dan,
Then Doherty,
Dan Doherty, he's a builder of mine, and I work with him closely, and
so that's, they're on Nabnasset.
they're on Nabnasset. They use chemicals. Now we're gonna dredge. We're gonna get this dredging permit. And oh, yippee, yay. But then we have to go for another dredging permit the next time we wanna do it. So we can keep dredging like we used to?
Well, we have a 5,000, cubic yard capacity,
This isn't for hydro raking.
I understand.
but no, this
It's
is.
for the,
In the fact,
eco
we've had,
harvesting.
yeah,
Oh,
this is eco harvesting, but we've had, permits that allowed us, we understood, less than 100 cubic yards annually.
I understand.
Not
But-
annually,
Well,
Well, let's think about
this
it.
is the way we understood it.
right.
Let's think about it. If we could manage these lakes without spending X amount for eco harvesting, and we could do it lower with the weed control, don't you think we should try it for a couple of years on Mattawanakee and maybe a couple others? I mean, Leon's Lake hasn't looked good since he's had the herbicides.
We had a very bad experience at Spec Pond with herbicides.
What would
And,
you have there?
well, it was a total failure. The guys that won the contract were total screw ups and.
All right, if they weren't.
Set us back here. Well, it's an if. It's a definite if, but I think the general conversation over the past few years.
Solitude came in and did treatments between that and when we started eco harvesting, right, Ian?
Leon,
Yeah, to start off with, in 2005, we started herbicide treatments and continued that for about 15 years. And as John just mentioned, unfortunately, we took a wrong turn and engaged a company for a couple of years that really didn't do a very good job on the herbicide treatments. And then we launched into the 3 years worth of hydro,
Eco harvesting, yeah.
eco harvesting. Yeah.
what do you think, Leon?
Well, we got off the herbicide treatments because a number of members on the pond did not favor that. We did it very early on because it was recommended as the most cost-effective method to control the weeds, and in fact, it did work. Over time, we spent less and less money each year to maintain that control. I would prefer that the eco harvesting would win out, but obviously with the 99 cubic yard limitation, we didn't give them a fair shot. I don't think we Spectacle Pond, we need several hundred, harvesting of several hundred cubic yards. And we may even have to have, an eco harvesting guy come back twice, do a treatment at a certain time of year to get the particular invasives, and then maybe come back later to get, other invasives or the first invasive that sprouted back up. This is something that obviously we need to negotiate with C&D if we select them again for eco harvesting.
Yeah, and there was a growing consensus that we're leaving things in the lake when we use, herbicides. Things die off and just become another layer of sediment.
Well, that's what we're supposed to do in, drawdown. Drawdown is supposed to lift it up, bring it to the middle, and drop it down. Is that correct?
No,
Well, what's the drawdown supposed to do?
the drawdown just,
The ice is.
Exposes the shoreline.
no, it exposes the shoreline and that kills the plants that are, exposed.
Mm-hmm.
And they just, so they're not there to grow the next year.
Yeah, for Spectacle Pond, the major invasive today is fanwort. And, we want to do an early treatment as proposed actually by Solitude. Do an early treatment and you kill off the baby plants. And then there's, less biomass that's left in the pond, unfortunately. You do a later treatment and all bets are off. You're just going to kill off some very mature plants and, have a very severe increased biomass.
Sure.
If you did a treatment in July or August, for instance, that's no good.
Yeah, yeah.
I think, in the end, before we went to eco harvesting, you were finding, that you had, plant material floating on the lake from the herbicide treatments over time, right?
That if we had what?
Harvesting, we saw plant matter just floating around.
Floating mats of plant material, on the lake.
Oh, muck islands. We have had muck islands, yeah. Over
Yeah.
time, that's what you were talking about, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, which was one of the reasons that they were.
Yeah,
going-
interestingly, I haven't seen any muck islands this year.
So that's good news.
Well, I think, yeah, I think they can come with the herbicide treatments. But,
Yeah, that was our theory, is that the herbicide treatments would nick, especially the lily pads. And, as they died off, you'd generate, muck islands.
But I agree, I think, Chuck, that, we need to look at all the different options. And I don't think any one of them is gonna be
That's clearly established that there is no silver bullet.
Yeah, I mean, it may be that, we consider, doing the herbicide treatment early next spring and then eco harvesting afterwards to see, to get sort of a variant on the kind of, 1-2 that we were looking at
Yeah.
this year,
Yeah.
right? Because we're on 2 towns, we have different orders of conditions and, it may be difficult to get, approval to do the herbicide on Westford side if we are also gonna be doing eco harvesting. We'll have to look at that next year.
Well, I think Westford's gonna let you do the herbicides because they've been letting Nab Lake do it forever.
So we had that discussion, with both committees, conservation commissions. And specifically with respect to Dikewater. And, the Western Committee there were a couple of people that were concerned about using Dikewater. And, when it was pointed out that all of the other lakes in town use it regularly and that there's no discussion at all, their comment was, well, when their permit comes up again, that may be different.
Oh,
And what, Dikewater is the product that's been banned in Europe now? Is that?
So it's not approved in Europe, but that's because it was being used on bean fields, and the concern there was the effect on the people that were applying it, and there's not an issue when it's used in the aquatics with the
Yes, right.
effect on the aquatic life. It's approved by EPA, it's approved by Mass, it's approved by,
It is.
I think,
It's
probably all of the
It's
states.
a recurring fear. We don't know about the accumulation of something over decades' time. And we had been looking at Spec Pond and Long Lake, well, for almost 2 decades, 15 years. So,
Right, so pretty much all the lakes in the state that do herbicides are, approved to use Dikewater. We had to go back and ask for approval to use it. It's not clear that we get approval next year to use it, if we're also gonna be doing eco harvesting. And, the cost of using, so that's really the two, herbicides that are effective against, milfoil are dicot and facilocor. And facilocor is, 6 times as expensive. So there's no way you could, I mean, that comes close to, eco harvesting costs. But dicot is very cost effective. So we just have to wait and see.
I like the idea of doing the experiment when we finally can get back to this, right? Like, test things in different.
Yeah,
That
and
would be good.
when we get our lake management plans, I'm sure it'll be part of the mix, right?
I don't
I
know.
think so, I think so. I would
The
expect
bottom
that.
line is nothing's happening for the rest of the year on the lake.
Bottom line, nothing's happening. We gotta be on this fall, we gotta just jump into it. September, October, we gotta jump into it and say, are we doing this or this? Because we can't, or do both. Get ready to do both again. Who
So,
knows if we're gonna get that dredging permit?
so let's move on to the dredging permit, shall we?
Sure.
Do we have a contract for that yet?
We do. I met with, Nick and, Matt, along with Michael Grega, who's, one of our new guys. He's doing the, water quality testing with us.
Yeah.
Through the water department, and also, Jim Duggan was on hand. And we reviewed the proposal, from TRC, to conduct the testing and, gather the information needed for the permit application for the, DEP minor dredging. And, we all said, I explained that, of course, we started out trying to gather, enough information, and then go ahead and have a phone call or, Zoom call with, David Long and, move on with this thing, do our own testing, but really, we have no expertise, in gathering samples and having all these things tested and putting together this application, so, we were endorsing, the TRC proposal, so, Dave?
So what was the result of the meeting?
The result of the meeting, was manifold, but, we said, I said, Matt didn't realize, I'd asked if we'd gone ahead with the contract, some weeks ago, and he said, we don't seem to have any money for that. And I said, well, but we do have money for that, and we should pursue it as rapidly as possible, because we cannot proceed with eco harvesting next year if we don't have this permit.
Mhm.
And he said, okay, well, how's that gonna work? So I said, well, we get $25,000 from the town, through 2 different funds, and, we also have eco harvesting, monies for all lakes, through, either, the CPC or in the case of Spec Pond, the water commissioners, that could be used for permitting, and preliminary costs in addition to eco harvesting. So he said, oh, great, well, this is wonderful. So, we came together last Thursday, and, Jim was on hand, and they said, oh, how are we gonna divvy this up? Nick said that he would, have the water department contribute about a third, since Spec Pond, of course, is 1/3 of the 3 lakes. And the other monies can come from the town. And I said, that sounds great. So we went dancing off thinking, we had a proposal. Where was that? That was, one second. Looking over the TRC proposal, they were saying that it was $29,000
Yeah.
to do the work. That, a little bit of an oversight on my part, because they didn't include a task number 4, which was optional. They didn't include it in the tally because that's the preparing and filing of 3 401 water quality certification applications, one for each pond. to the tune of almost another $10,000. So, the bottom line is it's not $29,000 to do all this work through TRC, but almost 39,000, 38 change. So I said, whoa, okay. Let's re-examine our numbers. We still have enough money. So we take all of the monies that, the select board has allocated for us from the two funds and put that together with a little bit of a boost from the water department. And if there's any additional monies that are required, we will in fact use CPC funds. And we've gone ahead with this contract.
Oh, so we have an in-force contract then now?
For, application.
So that's great.
I think it's wonderful. I don't think that we could have moved forward any other way. The water department wasn't able to lend their expertise from a time standpoint, and, so, I think it's money well spent.
Well, and, TRC has experience doing it.
They have done it numerous times
So-
for actual dredging projects, and they've talked with David Wong, and said, we probably don't need all the testing that we had anticipated when, we were still going through with Tim and looking at all the, outfalls and what have you. Thinking, they can streamline the operation a little bit. It's still very involved, still an awful lot of lab testing, and compilation of all this, with an assurance that this thing goes through. And if they were to do all of the research and take all the tests and then submit those things to us to submit to the state, I still don't think we'd be on top of it. So they're thinking, it may be quite a number of months to do it. They think they're gonna have the applications ready, say by end of August. And so, they will pursue that at this point. I'm very excited.
Carl Nielsen of
Yes.
TRC was saying that in his experience, it takes 10 months to get the permit.
And that again is for dredging permits. I mean, like for serious dredging projects, and we're in that weird zone, you know, where we've had an objection to this whole process since last fall. Like, this seems like total overkill, but this is the qualification we want to meet. And so we're meeting.
Good, so, Leon, have they started on it?
They've done bits and pieces, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Sure, yes.
Okay, yeah. Let me clarify. There is an intact contract today. Is that correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay, good. All right. Because they were kind of doing pro bono spitballing work, if nothing else.
Right. No, they'd broken it out for Matt, per lake. If they were to do things individually, or if we were to do 2 of the 3 lakes, for example, or whatever, it would have been substantially more expensive per lake to just do less. We get a discount to do all 3, so.
so, should we be talking to them about, I mean, the first thing we need to do, I think, is, do the, sampling.
They will talk to us, and they'll do this, they're doing the sampling.
Okay,
So they got the whole ball, and they will let us know as things progress.
right, so my
Update.
concern there is that if it gets, goes another month or month and a half, we'll be in the position that we were in a year ago, where we said, let's do our sampling now.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And DEP said, you can't do your sampling now, you have to do it during the growing season.
Right.
And we don't want to end up in that same boat again.
TRC has said that the maximum growth will be realized in August, for the sampling that they want to do.
Yeah.
So this is
Okay.
all part of the qualifications, and
Right.
so.
So they thought they could have the applications for the permits ready by the end of August.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
And again, we're off and running, but we're just off and running, so.
And so that includes like the DDR, right? Or the
Yes,
all of that.
yes.
Okay.
The whole package, both ends.
Which
The
would-
SAP
that would take place by that time.
Yeah, SAP and DDR, boom. So,
Okay.
and they seem very well versed in all of this.
So do they need, any input from us?
They will let us know.
Okay. Are you
Again,
on vacation at all next month?
I'm going away for Monday,
Really?
Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week.
Okay, safe enough.
Other than that, I think I'm on in. So yeah, but this is a big momentous occasion. Lisa, we thank you for your initial research on all of this. And certainly we thank Tim for his, development of the SAP,
Right,
but
yeah.
really, seems like, it's great to have an engineering firm who's done this and run it through, okay?
So, I wasn't clear. Is pond, is that part of what was in FY 26 allocation for spec pond, or is that something in additional?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay.
They're putting in $13,000, $14,000,
Yeah.
13,900,
Yeah,
they say, and,
that's
and
great.
I think that's from the funds that were allocated for the year, but, Nick said, you know, I initially said, thinking it was, $29,000, I said, we'll take all of the funding from the select board,
Yeah,
that's been allocated, plus CPC funds that we need to allocate from the lakes, and maybe a portion from Spec Pond. And Nick says, why doesn't the water department contribute a third? I said, well, why would I argue with that? So they seem very forthcoming, and they think this is a great move.
yeah, good.
And it will be done professionally, and it will be done. So,
Mhm.
And hopefully it will be approved, and then we'll be approved to spend a lot of money on eco-harvest.
and yeah, well, yeah.
Right, that's
yeah.
what we're setting
Well,
ourselves up for. to
The
your
dream, of
point.
course, again, to keep beating the dead horse, is that we'll be doing eco harvesting on a proper schedule. And we won't have any frustrations like we've had
Yeah.
every season until now, where there's been an excessive amount of rain, or there's been, the water level is too high, or it's too late in the season, or, some other delay, or we can't remove enough material. All of these problems should go away next year. And so we could have a very successful eco harvesting, season, in fiscal year 2026. And we may find we love it. We may find we want to go back to herbicide. Everybody's wide open, but we're setting everything up so that we can give this the true test. And then to see if it's sustainable. We may not be able to afford that down the line, but for now, we're looking forward to, fiscal year 2006, spring, and up through, the end of June, to do a really thorough job, with the resources that we're gonna have gathered at that point in time, so. This
Well, and
this
it
should
will be,
great.
it'll be a test case. I mean, we don't.
It will
We
indeed.
have yet to see whether it's effective.
Um,
And the idea is do enough of it, do it early enough,
Right.
and see,
and thorough.
yeah, right, yeah,
Yeah.
comprehensive enough.
Yeah.
How
I
well,
wanted to jump on that damn boat and make that guy put his thing down. I'm gonna do it this year. Or if they just, what's really funny though? This year, if you look in the lily pads down near my end, right? There's a lot of open area because they were sitting in the lily pads. I have been kayaking them, but there's no lily pads there.
there
As
are,
full. No, they're not as full as they always are.
not as,
Because
complete as
they
they used
just
to be.
drove around in circles trying to get their quota to get out of there.
Get their bulk.
And that was bullshit.
Yeah.
I almost jumped in the boat.
Which is, I mean, I know that they're in all the normal places, but maybe not as much. Which is surprising because those, rhizomes, they're like as big as your arm.
Mhm.
And you normally, if the lily pads go away, a week later they're back because they come out of the.
And they're gone
those
in
big-
places.
They're not gone, but
No.
they're,
Well, I'm gonna kayak it. I haven't
Good boys.
get over there.
Yeah. We have a lot of
There
lily
was
pads
one
on Long Lake.
Huh?
We have a lot of lily pads on Long Lake. I think a little bit more than usual.
you have a lot of frogs.
But, we have one big fat frog.
7, 8.
I think you scare all the other ones away. Women don't want to go near them.
Okay,
All right, well, that's dredging.
So that's giant. That's really,
That is huge.
Very
that's,
good.
that's really great, yeah. That was a concern.
Leon, any news on the Spec Pond Lake Management Plan?
No, that's, Nick Lawler was still working that.
Oh, okay, but it's essentially paid for, I gather.
The management plan,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not clear that it's paid for. Yeah. We were
But the
hoping to
money's
get it,
from-
we were
the
hoping to
money's
get it
from-
done before, June 30, but I haven't
Yeah,
got any
right.
feedback that says that we did get it done. In fact, I got some information from TRC suggesting that part of the plan may very well have to go out into the September timeframe. And thus,
Oh.
the 2025 money was not spent.
All right.
Yeah, little disappointment. Nick Lawler is also working on the,
Well,
Do you have that?
should, I think.
yeah,
But-
yeah, we're only gonna spend, if we just do the herbicide treatment, that's only 43,000, a little less than 43,000. I think we have 100,000 allocated.
Mhm.
We also still have CPC money for the boat launch, so a separate
Right,
issue.
Right.
And Nick is working on that too. It's, probably a low priority for him.
right. No, they're stretched, but, it was good to see Nick last week and, he kind of hit on most all of these things.
That's great.
A little bit, so, I was very encouraged.
Good.
It was great news, so. The CLC calendar, I, wanted to talk a little bit, see if I can dig it up and share it with you.
Hang on a second. Leon,
Go ahead.
they think they'll be done by this fall?
Yeah, that was the last, that I heard from TRC, yes.
Okay,
They're gonna be busy working on the dredging permits.
that's right.
It's all right, we're gonna keep these guys busy, keep them gainfully employed,
The big company.
so, yes, yeah.
TRC stands for the research company. That's what it was 30 years ago or whatever.
Is that what it is? Those aren't just last names or, who knows where these things go from?
Well, that's in its hazy past.
It was Tom, Rick, and Charles, and then they just meet up.
That's, yeah, right, just it, that's just it, so, hey, we have not looked at our, calendar that we, cobbled together, last year. But, I was curious to sort of review it, looking at June and July and August. Usually kind of beginnings of a quiet time for us because all of the, herbicide treatments or, eco harvesting or whatever is already established. If it hasn't been done yet, it's about to be done in the past. So looking at June, to review, we were reviewing the pre-invasive removal surveys, aquatic invasive removal, late June, early July, and continuing with water quality sampling. July, conduct post-invasive removal survey. Again, this is all kind of just what it's been in the past, but review and revise our 5-year budget, just something we definitely have to pull together. And again, water quality sampling. Brings up water quality sampling. We did that early on, first week of July. We were out with Josh and this new fellow, Michael.
Yeah.
Hit all the lakes, and I think we're gonna be doing that another couple of weeks again. So,
Yeah, the first week in August.
so we'll hit July, August, September, maybe
No,
October.
they're only
this
doing
year.
2.
Only two, and that's it?
That's my understanding.
Okay, well, that's better than last year, so. And then they'll put together, an assessment, and give us that kind of rundown, so.
Right.
Just 2 months.
So the plan was to do, June, July, August, September, I think. Possibly, I mean, ideally, we would do May too, but, because of the cost of doing the lab work, they're doing 2 months this year. If we want to do more, we should, bake that into
Precisely.
our budgets.
Which makes us, again, come full circle. We need to get together, look at the 5-year budget, look at, next year's budget and see what we can do and report back to the committee, for the next meeting. Because we're about to start this all over again.
Yeah. Well, we know more. You have more allies this year, more, yeah.
We've grown an awful lot.
Yeah.
We've come to understand things. And I think this is, again, the anomaly year, regarding permitting, regarding, the application for, minor dredging, all of the stuff that was not even on the horizon a year ago at this time.
Yeah.
And so, this is,
So one complication with, doing the 5-year plan and specifically for FY 27, in terms of, we know what we're planning to do for next year, but for the year after, that depends a lot on what we find in next year's treatments,
it's true.
right?
Yeah.
We should plan for the most expensive.
And then we have to make a case for it. Again, this is again, the fuzzy area where we work.
So
If we look over the past 3 or 4 years, our budget has quadrupled.
And yet we're
I mean, it's
using no
really-
budget this
It's
year.
really gotten
Yeah,
quite stiff. It's easily redoubled itself and more, just because of new requirements, and new expectations. It's not going to be dropping down anytime in the foreseeable future. I would still like to see a time when, we have such a successful, harvesting program for a few years that this does in fact taper off. That in fact, like they say with eco-harvesting, similar to herbicide treatments, as this repeats itself year in, year out, it diminishes. That we really get a handle on this, we move forward. It's not going to get substantially easier because we have eutrophication that we're up against, but I'd still like to think that it's not going to be the crisis that it has been in the past 2 years, 3 years. And time will tell. And so in terms of doing a budget, does it decline? Probably not, but it's not going to increase.
well, I mean, we'll be going into, budget planning for FY 27,
Mhm.
this fall and this winter. And we expected to have results from this summer's, treatments, and we don't.
Right.
So,
But it's conjecture. But again, we want to pursue, lake management plans
absolutely.
for each water body, including Goldful Pond, at this
Yeah.
point. We want to move forward somehow with Mill Pond. Want to do all sorts of things. I'm sorry that, Mitt's not with us tonight. Thought he would be here, but yeah, we have that. We have long-term projects that we have yet to be able to plan for. Things like what we did at Long Lake 25 years ago. Because each one of our ponds is going to require substantial investment, and major work, within the watershed, over the next few decades. Just is. And,
what do you mean? Like what's an example?
Oh, well, we did all of the, testing, of the, storm drains. And we created, wetland park, and we created the rain gardens, and we did, facilities, the new boat launch, and we did all of those things at Long Lake, that are now, 25 years old, and everybody goes, wow, these have always been here. We built those. And we need more of those things. We have to deal with all the runoff from Cedar Hill.
Yep.
And nothing's been proposed, because we can't fund it. And we would get grants from the state, we would get, all kinds of monies coming in, but there's in-kind services that would be expected from the water department, and that's not an easy sell right now. And additional funding and contributions from the town. And we want parity, so that would mostly be money coming from the town. We need resources that we can draw from. We need to increase, our ask and get. So otherwise, those projects are off the board.
Yeah.
And that's just Long Lake, and needed it at Forge Pond, we needed a Spec Pond. Who knows, we needed the Opal Pond. We kind of keep that little baby up in the corner. So, but we have expectations, and I think we need to flesh those things out in the 5-year plan.
So we need to know what's gonna be effective before we ask for the funding from them. Right,
And then we need the funding immediately to move forward. So again, we find ourselves in sort of a catch-22. We don't know what we're asking for until we need it desperately. And that's our problem, but we need to be able to project a little bit.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we might have to have some middle path that we put forward for subsequent years.
Well,
Next
quite-
year,
quite
we do the
literally,
dredging next
This
year,
year is the middle path.
where we're
We
doing nothing.
anticipated, and we went through the trouble of trying to line up
Yeah.
permitting for herbicides. And after all is said and done, we're not doing any herbicides. And our lakes and ponds are coasted. And not the end of the lake. It's not beautiful. It's not great, not ideal, but we're doing nothing this year in terms of, management of invasive species. We're not touching it.
not for lack of trying.
Not for lack of trying. But at the end of the day, saving our ammo.
Yeah,
And that's worthwhile. And there will be years like this where we go, whoa, we had anticipated doing a whole lot more this year, weren't able to do it. Save your ammo. We'll use it the next year. This is a long-term thing.
Yeah.
And we have to look at it as such.
who's gonna meet to discuss the 5-year plan?
You and me and Leon, maybe we'll get, we'll get,
Yeah,
I'd like to have Mitt involved, but, I think we'd have a quorum at that point. We'd have to declare to be.
yeah, that's right, I can't do that,
So, yeah, no, but I think a few of us can get together,
yeah,
chat things up a little bit and get a direction that we feel is worthwhile. We'll distribute the 5-year planners and stuff amongst the committee and get input all around. And, again, we have months to refine this, but this is something we should start talking about again.
right.
So, that's where that stands, so.
And when is it October when the budget meetings are?
Now, people say October, November.
Yeah.
I think we've presented in the past to the water commissioners in November.
No, we should,
Mark, are you on the line still?
I am. So-
When do budget presentations happen?
The budget process starts in October. The presentations are in January. They'll be
Oh, okay.
vetted through the finance committee and others, in November, December.
Okay, so, yeah,
We'll be talking CPC funding again, if you want to supplement that, see where things stand. So, we gotta reach out all of our feelers. And, so now's a good time to start talking.
Mark, do you have any suggestions or recommendations based on what you've been hearing, just from a budgeting standpoint?
So I think the idea of separating out the treatment for the lakes versus the improvements for the lakes is a good one, because I don't know how long you're going to get the CPC funding for the treatments, right? Because at a certain point that becomes maintenance and they don't support maintenance on things, right? So there's questions on how long that support will last. So I think an idea of coming up with a regular cost or something for how much that's going to be and putting that in the town budget will be a better approach, and going for CPC funds on your improvements like building parks and things will be serve you well in the longer term. So and if you have a plan for how to get the costs for the treatments to a manageable, sustainable level over the next few years. That would be a big help for the finance committee and probably also for the CPC if you're going to say, look, we're expecting after 3 years that these costs are going to be more managed and potentially on the town side, right? You kind of need to take those together, right?
What was that?
If you can say that if you come up with a plan for, in 3 years, we're expecting the annual cost to be, let's just say, $25,000-$30,000 for treatments for the ponds, right? And then work to get that in the town budget side. And then we want to build more retaining ponds or whatever, the frog pond type things or others. That's going to be a better use of CPC funds going forward, right? And come up with a plan for how you're going to manage those costs over, the next few years and get them under control, right? And stabilized.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you, Mark.
I would also try to keep at least running a lot of these things through Tim and Nick as well, right?
Mhm.
As you're developing them, to keep them in the loop so that they know what's going on and what your strategy is. They don't necessarily have to be involved in the upfront creation of the plan, but right, they might have ideas before you're ready to call it a final plan.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Mark, Nick was saying that he plans at this point to continue on as our liaison for the foreseeable future. Does that jive with your understanding?
Yes. And I
That's
will
good.
and you can add me to be an attendee for your meetings. I will be doing this instead of Karen.
Wonderful. Thank you. It's great.
So is the ConsCom, weren't they hiring someone who was gonna be splitting their role?
They
Is that not
are, I believe they have hired someone that will be splitting their role. They're just getting her up to speed at this point. So
And then
sometime,
at that point, that person will be the liaison and not Nick? Nick is just saying he's gonna do it until then?
Nick said
Or Nick's saying, I wanna stay involved?
he's in, well, the water department's always going to be key.
It seems to me like ConsCom too, like maybe it's not a bad idea to have more representation because the lakes are, we have multiple stakeholders involved here, I
We
think.
do indeed.
I mean, the more the more eyes.
I think over time, ConsCom will get involved more. They just hired someone in the past few weeks and they're just getting her up to speed.
Yeah, okay.
Sure. And I'm sure they're busy.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Membership discussion. This has come up a couple of times and I reached out to the town clerk's office about Luigi, our major representative, our primary representative from Mill Pond, who we haven't seen in probably a couple of years now.
2-3 years.
We don't get response from emails. We don't get anything, and so
Hasn't his term expired?
No, it hasn't.
When is his
He's
term?
still,
ending?
I don't know, maybe another year or so. But
How long? I thought it was only 2-3 year terms.
It's a 3-year term.
I think it's a 3-year term. But anyway, I was told by Diane, the town clerk, that I'll have to request time from the select board and to request his removal so that we can get somebody else who'd like to have that. And it's in because we still have things going on there. There's a future for Mill Pond and we'd like to be part of it. So I thought I'd float that with the group here tonight, and if there's no objections, I will request time.
Right?
So,
That's
So,
fine. Yeah.
so what you need to do is you need to make a motion to request that he's removed from the committee for lack of responsiveness or, and then you can just send mail to Karen and we can put it on the agenda. You don't necessarily have to be at a meeting. This happened
Oh, okay,
recently.
great.
I believe we did this for someone on the Disability Commission. It might be the same person not too long ago. So, if you just, if you make the motion, and then send me a draft of the meeting minutes, I can get it on the agenda for for the first meeting in August.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Mark. I'll do just that.
So, I move that we request that the select board remove Luigi from Clean Lake Committee for lack of participation and responsiveness.
Second. All in favor?
Any discussion?
He's the Mill Pond alternate, just FYI. Mitt
Mitt is my first.
Mitt is Mill
Nick
Pond,
is the alternate.
Mitt is.
not on this website. Although Mitt did not, looks like he didn't renew his term, so he's expired right now,
Oh, no kidding.
according to this. And I'm updated, so I know that this is current. Lisa is updated. Luigi doesn't expire until 2027.
See?
Oh, is he 6 year?
How can that be?
3 years, so he must have renewed at the end, like last June, something. I don't know.
I don't remember him.
No.
I have not seen him
No,
at a
you-
meeting.
You haven't crossed paths in a long time.
That was,
Maybe he did it
that
in the
was,
summer when I was golfing.
that was the one thing he did last year.
Was he renewed? Maybe.
I think you're probably right. Okay.
Okay, so did we take a vote?
All right,
Aye.
Ed, you still on board?
Yeah, aye.
Okay, Lisa?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Leon?
Aye.
Thank you. Jake?
Aye.
Chuck?
Aye.
Kim?
Aye.
And I. Thank you.
That aye.
Aye. That is good. I got an email from Bartlett Harvey just shortly before the meeting tonight. He sent a couple of photos there. He says, since the harsh rains we've had in the past few weeks, they're getting some real weird brown
This is the
staining.
Long Lake resident?
This, no, I'm sorry, this is at Millpond.
No fun.
He lives in, Steve Sussman's old house. It's right next to where the boat launch is there, that we're working on. And, he says there's weird sort of brown stained water that seems to be coming from somewhere around, the bridge, between basin 1 and 2. And asked if we would take a look at it. I said, we certainly will.
I wonder, did he send pictures of it?
I got a couple of pictures. He says they're not very good, but
Because there is an iron oxidizing bacteria. I'm wondering if it looks like this. Like I've seen this in streams before, and well, that's not a very good picture. And it is super gross, but it's natural. Like this, it looks like rust.
wow, that's pretty serious.
I've seen in the woods at Harwood.
Yeah.
I memean, it's not a sign of necessarily healthy water, but it's,
Oh, no, that was fun.
Those are the two pictures he sent. One I gather is their normal condition, and the second one is, the letters that are,
well, that just kind of looks like invasive plants. Sorry, I lost it.
but I thought, at the very least, we'll go over and take
That
a look.
doesn't look like this rust stuff. That looks like there's kind of a milky color
That's
to it. Yeah. That's what I've seen in the stream behind my house when they're doing construction.
Okay.
And they kind of blow the berms and all that kind of stuff
Yeah.
and all the sand from the construction
Yeah,
sites go in the water, but so are they doing any
so it's.
development along Mill Pond?
So that's not
I don't
supposed
think
to
so,
happen.
but-
It's not supposed to happen. No, I was always calling Amy Green when it was
Yeah.
like when Cooper Farm was getting built. I'd be like, someone had a blowout up there and it's in the stream and there's just sand in the stream and
I might wanna notify Tim. I don't know. We'll see what it looks like.
Yeah.
And,
I don't see anything.
it's brown. I swift, one
it's the second.
one
image.
picture
Yeah.
goes to another. Swipe.
There's only two.
There are two pictures.
I don't see anything.
One's really brown water. I think he's talking about the prawn. He said they're bad photos, but I said, okay, they're bad photos.
That looks like Monet.
This looks like it's normal, with that, like, muck coming up.
Well, I think, he anticipated that, this is more of a look. And
Is that on the other side of the dam?
I don't, well, he said, the one picture is from his house, and one picture, has nothing to do with the dam. It has everything to do with, what is it, Harwood Bridge there, right
So
there?
it's, is that, you call it between basins 1 and 2?
Yeah, yeah.
So we could go look at it, but
Yeah.
we don't really have any, professional knowledge about that.
No, but if we need to have it pursued, we'll pursue
Okay.
Yeah, Tim could check it out. Tim would,
Yeah.
that would be who I would call. I had Amy would come out and check it out, Amy Green.
it. So,
So,
I mean, if you look on the Google Maps image of Mill Pond, it's that color.
It's-
So-
it's technical, baby. So, yeah, no, it's,
Yeah.
so what are we doing?
I'll go take a look, and if I see something that is identifiable, maybe there's a recognizable source, maybe not, but he seems to think it was stirred up by rain.
Well, it could be, let's see. Is it Taylor Street back there?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it could be someone's dumping something.
Oh, I hope not. But yeah, that's, one way or the other, he reached out, and I thought, we can connect some dots.
So it's a bridge off of Harwood Avenue? Is that what you're saying?
So one thing I think it would be useful for us to pursue is connect with, see what's happening with the, Patriot Beverage lawsuit
Yeah,
and Mill Pond.
yeah.
To see, because that goes, right into, it goes into Mill Pond, it goes
Mhm.
into Beaver Brook, it goes
Part
into
of your network.
Forest Pond.
Yeah.
Right.
Mark, is that something that the town has gotten any reports on?
We have not.
And that was that there was that citizens? There
I
was
think it's
some-
Conservation Law Foundation.
Thank you. I was gonna say Citizens United, but that's something else. Conservation Law Foundation.
I mean, our understanding is that there are, high levels of nutrients that are being,
Mhm.
added to the stream upstream of Mill Pond, flowing into Mill Pond. And that is the chief driver of all this eutrophication.
Yeah.
If that, I was hoping that we would be able to do some kind of, with our water testing, try to
Oh.
look at, you know,
Maybe, have it analyzed?
well, I mean, we would have to do things in addition to what we're doing right now to see,
Yeah.
you know, are there high levels, for instance, of phosphorus and nitrates coming in from
Oh.
that stream?
I could, I see, with regard to, Patriot beverages, yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking more like we could go take a water sample when we're doing our, water sampling, in a week or so. And, see what results come
Right.
up. Take a couple of samples, take a clearer water sample, and then the brown, if it's still there.
Well, I mean, we used to do sampling in the streams,
Mhm.
right, Leon?
Yes.
We could do a phosphorus sample upstream and downstream of Patriots.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'll see if I can call somebody and find out.
Yeah, obviously I can't see the pictures, but we have, near the railroad tracks or any track, usually if you have drainage dishes, you can see a brown bacteria material
Yeah.
sort of clustered up, clumped up. I'm
Yeah,
assuming, although
Yeah,
again, I
this
haven't
is
seen.
coming from the bridge, but.
Yeah, you got the tracks in the second lobe there. Or the second.
Yeah, well, they're way over. That's like the third or fourth lobe, I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking if you get a heavy rain, you get a flow.
That's true. That's true.
And maybe it's, you're basically washing down the railroad tracks and getting that
Mhm.
interior flushed.
They have been doing a lot of work on the tracks to,
Oh, is that right?
I think so, they've
Yeah.
been replacing rails and stuff. But I shouldn't think that would be it.
So they're doing construction on Taylor Street as well, where they're putting in new water main. So I don't know if that would affect it.
Right, yeah.
That could be it. Where's the, is it the inflow, the outflow from Patriot Beverages? Where would that go into Mill Pond?
Oh, I'm going to Basin 1.
Which is,
It's the stream that comes in from the west.
It would be.
Yeah,
the
Reedy
Patriot Beverages
Meadow,
there, this is the Harwood Ave Bridge.
What's it called, Dan?
Reedy Meadow.
It would be coming
Green
from
Meadow.
the middle, this green area here, down past the,
Hmm.
what is it, St.
Well, then that would make sense if he's seeing that. That could be Patriot Beverages, or it could be Taylor Street Construction, or it could
It's
be.
not really anywhere close to the bridge. See, because the
Well,
dam
this
is,
is the
the dam is out to the east,
Yeah,
and it's coming from the west, and the bridge is really,
well,
south.
this is the bridge, right? This is Harwood Ave.
Yeah,
If it was coming from Patriot, you'd expect it to be at Kimball's, the bridge over Kimball Street too.
Hmm.
You know,
Right, see how brown that is in Google.
that's graphic, baby.
Like, that's just the way the water looks there, but who knows? I will see if I can find out anything about the Patriot Beverage lawsuit.
Great, yeah, see if there's any news, so that would be very constructive.
In my official capacity on the Clean Lakes Committee, I'll
Hey,
say that.
Well,
We would like an update on the status of
Sure.
the,
yeah. So,
Can
all
I
right.
suggest if you're going out to look at this, you invite Tim to come along as well while you're going, so he's aware of it?
Yeah, I thought I'd go take a precursor kind of look to see if I even see anything.
well, I would do that as well. Is that, did Bartlett, he sent that today?
Yeah, it's just hours old, so,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, and it hasn't rained in a few days now. It's super dry. The stream in our backyard's dry. It's a bone.
But, I might go quiz him a little bit more,
Yeah.
and, we'll see where things go. One other note from the meeting last week with the water department, and, Jim Duggan. Nick said to pass on that the Forge Pond Engineering Survey monies, the funding from FY 2025. He said, we're not doing anything on that right now, but he said, put it in the budget for next year through the water department, and you'll get your money. That was gonna be in partnership with, Friends of Forge Pond, I believe.
Yeah, we were sharing the cost between Friends of Forge Pond.
Yeah,
and
I don't know why this got derailed, but, Nick said we're not, that money is not forthcoming at this point, so.
So, yeah, we had a company that was ready to do the
Yeah.
work that we did a scope of work for the amount that was allocated to do the work in the first place, to be shared by Friends of Forge Pond and Water Department. And there were concerns about the timing of it. The last that we heard was
This time of year, you mean, or?
relative to the work being done by the end of June.
Oh.
Well, the last we heard was that the scope of work was being sent to a number of potential companies that could also do the work to see what their quotes were going to be.
Oh,
And
and this is with regard to,
the engineering study
engineering
for
changes for the,
outlet
for the outlet.
it's possible improvements for the drawdown for
Mhm.
Forge Pond.
Mhm.
And when we asked how that process would work, since the FY 25 funding was ending at the end of June, we were told that there may be funding that could be found, depending on, once they did got the quotes. I understood that to mean, once they got the quotes back, at that point, there may be funding available. But it sounds like you're saying the funding wouldn't be available for, another year.
Right. That's what Nick said. It'll be FY 27.
Yeah, but we wouldn't be able to start it for another year,
That's right.
okay?
Not great news, but
Not great news at all.
it's still out there. They're dangling it, so.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not lost money, it's just not being allocated now.
yeah, I mean, it's a little difficult to understand since the scope of work was not being questioned. The contract was for the amount that was allocated. So it would seem like, things were in line. So if we have to wait, another year to do it, that's the way it is, I guess.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anybody have any new, or additional business?
Motion to adjourn.
Crickets, I love it. We need to establish a next meeting date.
Well, nothing's going on in August.
Let's see if we can, I'm just gonna check a calendar.
If there's no eco harvesting or
No.
herbicide treatments happening.
Yeah,
August 20th. Why don't we skip to September?
I was just about to say we could,
Why don't we go into September?
skip into early September.
September 10th.
Jeff,
Is Steve Haddon, what dates is he not clear?
Monday, he's busy. Wednesday, he now is, his regular course that he teaches moved from Wednesday to Monday, so now he's available on Wednesday.
Okay.
Ed, what's best for your schedule in terms of, days of the week?
I'm pretty open. I do have classes starting in September, but they're all going to be online. They're not going to be they won't be in person like it was last semester.
That's
So-
great.
I have a little bit more flexibility.
Good. Lisa, Tuesdays were bad for you? You lost Lisa. Well, anyway, I'd say the first week or two of September would be a good target at this point.
Yeah, I'd go for, if we could do the week of the 10th, that's just after school started and
And you'd like that?
kids are gone.
Oh, there you go. New lease on life, all
One
of
kid
that.
home.
So, want to aim for the 10th? 10th is good for a target? Leon, you all right with the 10th?
Yes.
Lisa?
Probably.
So probably, maybe, marginal?
I think I can, I mean, we're talking about being gone, but I think we'll probably go on the week before that. But, that's right.
Okay, well, maybe we'll fine tune things as we get closer and
No, it's, I mean, I think it's coming.
why don't we say the 10th? And then Chuck has an announcement.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? I'll
Aye.
say aye.
Any objections to adjourning?